morning. Good morning. It is 2:48 a.m. I've already left my house. Took off, headed to the makeshift gym. It is currently May 1st, 2020. You know, I'm one of these people, just to kind of give you a background. I'm very ambitious. I'm very go after it type of individuals. Self-motivated. Not one to make a whole lot of excuses. And on top of that, very much, I guess I would be considered a loner, minus the, very, very small group of individuals that I know. But one thing I've learned about getting ahead in life or making any type of real significant, meaningful change, the one thing I've learned is that taking massive amounts of responsibility for everything that happens it creates a better level of prosperity than someone who would say, well, it's the weather, or it's the car, or it's my boss, or it's traffic, or I have a thyroid. Right? Too many people with too many things they need to get done, relying on too many excuses. And I'm, without being too much of an asshole, I've yet to hear an excuse that didn't have an answer to it. That's, let's just be all the way, let's just be all the way transparent with it. I've yet to hear an excuse that didn't have a reasonable answer. And then people who are used to making excuses, they'll make another excuse to cover up that excuse, and then another excuse to cover up that excuse. And you can keep having rebuttal about why it can work. And a lot of that had to do with, I'm a huge motivational person, meaning the things that I listen to, I like it. I believe that listening to it is not enough. I believe you have to also apply it. But one of the things, any motivational speaker that I've ever heard would say is that you have to take responsibility. You have to create a level of pain. I think Tony Robbins was the best one to say that. You have to create so much pain in your mind that you literally are forced away from situation. And what just came to my mind just now literally is a woman. I think women leave abusive relationships when they say to themselves, this person is going to end up killing me one day. I think that's what whether there's any truth to it or whatever the case may be, And that's just an example. They're saying, I need to leave this because this person is going to kill me. Now, I remember my weight loss journey had everything to do with I needed to get more energy. When I first got into real estate, I was cold calling, dialing thousands of people a day. And I'd stand up and I'd walk around and I'd talk and I'd feel this pain. And the pain became so unbearable that I finally asked somebody, what can I do to get in better shape? Because the pain had created so much inside of me that I needed to do something about it or I was not going to be able to function. I'm not one of those people where I have this very strong brain. You know, I have a good brain. It works very well. It's very methodical, but it requires some physical activity with it too. There's some people who they can be big as a house and make trillions of dollars because they don't need their body to physically do anything because their brain does 100% of the work. I'm not that individual. But what I'm saying is that when you take responsibility and when you have built up enough reasons why this action should take place, hand in hand they come together and they start creating a level of an atmosphere that you want to be in. But as long as you're not taking responsibility, as long as you're still making excuses, as long as you're failing to recognize the pain that you're causing in your own life, you'll probably never come out of it. And here's the one fact that I've always kind of relied on and never ever took for granted is that people die every single day, never ever realizing even a percentage of the potential that they had to be better than anything they could have imagined. But not only did they never really understand or get the concept of their potential, but they lived their whole life in quiet desperation and they died that way. So it's realistic. It's very possible, and I would say the majority of the population, more so than not, go out that way. The majority of the population. And that's just not a statistical category that I wanted to be in. But blaming other things or people or external sources for why life is not treating you fair, it really takes away from the fun of the experience that life shows you. See, being in prison makes me, one, empathetic to the situation. Two, it gives me a deeper and more enriched love for life. When you've lost and you've gotten back, you have a deeper appreciation for it and you don't let it go again. You know, like love. It's better, you know, the old saying, it's better to love and lost than never have loved at all. But the second part of that is better to have loved and lost and got loved back again. And that's what taking responsibility does. That's what creating a level of pain where when it comes to something that you need to change in your life, similar to the woman who gets abused and she says, I gotta leave or this person is going to end up killing me. And they tell themselves that enough and it becomes so real that they say, today's the day. I don't want to die. I gotta go. That's how it was with my weight. And even now, when there's things that are going on that I know my heart needs to change, I don't look for other things. I don't look for other people to change. I don't look for other things to change, even though sometimes I'm like, yo, you need to change. At the end of the day, maybe there's something about you that's intended to call out the best in me. See, it's easy to be around people who think like us, act like us, talk like us, walk like. That's easy. There's no challenge in that. But God forbid that we're challenged to be or come out of our comfort zone and we get around somebody who don't necessarily conform to what we think they should. The first thing we want to do is ask them to change. We want them to change. Hey, could you change so that you can make me more comfortable? Versus, can I be versatile and change to adapt to your style? And that's where I suffer. I'm bad at that. I am real bad at that. Even like with my wife, I'm bad with that. I will try to change her. I'll go through these moments where I'll be like, hey, maybe you should do this or that. And instead of accepting her and saying, you know, God put you in my life for a reason, maybe I had to come out of my comfort zone and learn to accept who and what you are. So there's a couple things that are going to hold you back or that's going to propel you forward. One is being able to accept other people for who they are and know that maybe it's you that need the change. Two is being able to accept responsibility. And then three is creating a level of pain in anything that you need to stop or anything that you need to, anything that you feel like needs to change. Sometimes creating that level of pain where the tolerance to keep dealing with it becomes so unbearable that even if it hasn't reached that level, in your mind you've created that level and you say, I don't want to live like this no more. And then from that moment forward, change starts to happen. But only when you start to think and you start to react the way that you're supposed to. It's not going to happen any other way.